on our website that allowed all customers to apply, regardless of whether or not they've ever applied for this program in the past. We continue to have that online portal open for everybody to apply. They also can apply by email, by mail, by phone, text messages. And this year we've started opening up the doors to our family service offices in each of our counties for appointment only, no walk-ins. So we encourage our customers to go onto our website. They can select their own appointment date and time and the staff or the location that they would like to apply for LIHEAP. Or they can call in and our staff can schedule their appointment for them. They're all pre-screened. They're asked the typical COVID questions on the phone when we do schedule the appointment, and we also ask that the customer calls when they get to the parking lot. They will be screened again, and if they answer no to all of our COVID questions, they're allowed into our office. We do require all customers to be masked, and if possible, don't bring anybody else with them when they apply. As far as processing the applications, when a customer applies, they need to bring in proof of income for all household members. They also need to provide proof of social security numbers for all household members, regardless of the age. We have expanded that proof of social security numbers over the past few years. So if we have a member that doesn't have a social security card, they've never filed a tax return via a paid professional, they don't have a W-2 that shows their social security number, we can accept a copy of a birth certificate for that member, and they can just self-declare their social security numbers. The reason we ask for social security numbers is to ensure that each member is on one application per year. So we can't have members jumping from household to household and be on multiple applications. So that is why we request that social security number, and it's cross-checked throughout the state to make sure that someone didn't move from the southern part of Iowa to northeast Iowa, and now they're applying for the same service in the same fiscal year. And we also ask for copies of their heat and their electric bills. This year, LIHEAP has moved from 175% of the federal poverty income guidelines to 200%, which matches the weatherization criteria. So we are going to target our customers that applied last year that fell between the 175 and 200%. We're going to email, mail, or call them and say, hey, we've changed to 200% this year. Based on your income that you provided us last year, it looks like you may be eligible. Why don't we do an application with you and see what we can come up with? So we're hoping we can pick up those customers that got left out last year. We do have quality control as far as our applications are concerned. Each family service office in our 7 counties completes the application. And then I do have someone up here in Decorah who runs a report, grabs all the names of customers who have applied in a specific time period, and she will go through every application to ensure that we have all the income documentation that's required, the signatures, social security numbers, that the simple things like the heating account number is correct, because 1 digit off and it will hang up that payment on the customer's account. And we also want to make sure that we have the correct electric account number. I do notify vendors weekly. Every Tuesday they get notified. This is your list of customers that you have that have applied for our program and are approved. We do not notify vendors of denial applications. We only notify vendors of the approved applications. And payments. This year is hopefully going to be a little bit different. We already have funds that we can draw down on. So we should be able to start making our first applications by maybe this end of this week, first part of next week, which is at least a full month earlier than we've ever been able to before. So we're going to get the payments out to customers' accounts a lot quicker than before. There's many different factors that are built in for what award each customer is eligible for. The poverty level here is all of their income. If they fall between 0 and 75% of the federal poverty guidelines, we'll affix 8 points to them. And you can see as it goes down, the higher the poverty, the lower the points. We also affix a value to the fuel type. So if they heat with natural gas, it's 4 points, but with propane, it's 5 points. With wood, it's 2 points. We also factor in some targeting items. So if the household has a fixed income only, they'll receive 1 point, elderly 1 point, disabled 1 point. So if a household has the first 3 parts of these targeting factors, we'll give them 3 total points. If they happen to have a child under the age of 6, we're going to put in another point for them. If they live in a house or a mobile home, we'll give them another point. If the customer is subsidized, lives in a 5 plus or more building, if they have heat included in the rent or have interest-bearing accounts that they can draw off of without penalty, we will deduct points from the total that they have earned throughout these other factors. It's $40 a point. And this year we are seeing so many changes this year, it sometimes feels like it's hard to keep up. The maximum amount that a customer should be eligible for is $800, but the minimum benefit that we'll give any household that's eligible for propane or fuel oil will be $800. That's a big jump from $500 last year. We know the price of both fuel oil and propane are much higher than they were last year. We have the funds to support this increase, and hopefully we'll be able to make a bigger impact on our customers who heat their home with propane or fuel oil. A little bit about moratorium. Iowa's winter moratorium law states that if a customer qualifies for either LIHEAP or weatherization, they're protected against their disconnection of natural gas, their heat source, or their electric service. This moratorium starts November 1st every year, and it runs through April 1st of the following year. So that is why we want to make sure that we have the utility account numbers accurate, so that when our utility companies receive a list of their customers who is eligible for LIHEAP, they can document that in whatever system they use to ensure that that customer, our mutual customer, does not get disconnected for falling behind on their payments. That being said, if the customer is falling behind on their electric service throughout the winter, they are eligible to come in and request assistance for their electric. It's easier on us, on staff, for us to attack that past due electric during the winter than to wait until moratorium falls off and everybody comes rushing in April 2nd, April 5th, as soon as the utility companies actually get that disconnect notice out to them. So if we can be a little more proactive on paying on some of those bills during the winter, it will help ease a lot of burden. The funds that we will use to help customers is
Karen,
called the
I had just one clarifying question for you, if you
Yep.
don't mind. Just from 2 slides back on the payments and the points that get added up to determine the award. That's a one-time award, and that goes to the customer once per heating season.
So we make our payment to the utility company.
Gotcha.
Not 100% will go to the utility company. So if there's been another change that I did not bring up. In the past, if a customer was heat included in the rent and subsidized, they were deemed ineligible. That no longer holds true. So if they're heat included in the rent and they're subsidized, but they have an electric account that they're responsible for, so the electric is in their name, we will then pay on that electric account. If the customer applies and they're not responsible for any of their utility bills, it's all included in their rent, we will make a payment directly to the customer in that case. Right. But the majority of our payments will go directly to the utility companies.
And it'll just be a credit on their bill for a number of months.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Great.
And
okay.
And that credit, it depends on the time of the year when the customer applies. So we may have a customer that comes in the first part of April who owes $0 on their account. And we may drop, let's say $400 on their account as a credit. That credit may stay there on that account through the entire summer. Sure. And they can come into the next LIHEAP season with a credit. That doesn't mean that they can't apply again as soon as they're eligible to apply, which October 1st starts a new fiscal year for us. So anybody and everybody can start over October 1st. So even if they have that credit on their account, they can still reapply the next year, and we'll just make another credit on their account. That doesn't always happen. Usually people that are applying come in with either a $0 balance or they come in owing their utility company.
Sure.
So we are trying to, if they come in and let's say they owe $600 to Black Hills Energy, and they're applying for LIHEAP, we're going to take that $600 and pay it if they're eligible for LIHEAP. We're going to pay that, plus then put a credit on their account to get them going through the winter months, owing $0.
Yep. But it is just that one-time fee per heating season or per fiscal year, that it's not a monthly piece.
Correct.
Yep.
Unless we do a supplement payment.
Yep.
And those are fun.
Okay.
So the crisis program that we'll use to pay that $600 payment to Black Hills if we need to, it's called the Energy Crisis Intervention Program, ESIP for short, because if we were all into acronyms. This falls under the LIHEAP category. So if the customer is eligible for LIHEAP, they are eligible for ESIP. So if we determine that someone is eligible for LIHEAP on November 2nd, and they come in April 15th, now out of moratorium, they're eligible for this program as long as they haven't hit the cap of what we can pay out in a fiscal year. The program ensures that the customer's heat and or electric accounts do not get disconnected. We'll make that payment if they have that disconnect notice. We'll also make a payment or clean up any payment agreements that the customer has agreed to. Sometimes they agree to payment agreements that are not affordable to them. They just do it because they know that they're in that crisis moment, and they just say, yes, I'll agree to it. Then they come to us and say, I don't know what I just did. I agreed to something that's $300 a month. I can't afford $100 a month. So we'll work with the utility company to clean up that payment agreement and set the customer back at zero. We can do that for the heating account and the electric account. We can do it for both accounts. We do offer, before I move on to that, just so you know the limits, for a reconnect account. So the customer is off. They've had their service off. We want to help them reconnect. We have up to $3,000 in this fund to help reconnect a customer. We also have $3,000 in this fund to help prevent that disconnect. So you're looking at a possibility combination of $6,000 right there. So say if a customer comes in to me today and has been disconnected from their electric, and it will take $2,900 to get them reconnected. If they're income eligible for the program, we're going to get them reconnected. Fast forward to next July, they come to us and say, I fell behind again. Now I owe $1,500. They're going to disconnect me in 3 days. We have $1,500 out of the service continuity section, up to $3,000. We'll help them with that $1,500 to prevent their disconnect. So the purpose is we're going to keep them on, and there's money sitting there to help them. Those limits start over every year, October 1st. So we reset everybody's limit October 1st, starting them out fresh. We do have emergency delivery for propane or fuel oil with this program. We ask customers to keep an eye on their LP gauge. If they see that they're getting down to 30% or less, they need to call us. We will either guarantee their LIHEAP award if we have not paid the LP provider, or we will help them through the ESIP program with up to $800 for an emergency delivery. We want to make sure that the customers don't run out of LP, because it costs more money if they run out of LP than if we can just get a truck rolling out there in the next couple of days. So that's why we hit up with the 30%. Just keep an eye on your gauge and let us know when you get down to that 30%. We do have emergency cooling funds. This will help pay for a window air conditioner for a customer. They have to have a medical reason to receive a window air conditioner. So let's say someone has asthma, congestive heart failure, seizures, anything that warrants the place that the customer lives to be cooler than anybody without an AC. We will help get them a window air conditioner. This $400 can also go towards assisting a customer in the repair of a central air unit. The last part of this program is furnace replacement or furnace repair for homeowners only. We have up to $4,000 to help repair or replace a furnace. Saying that if we have a customer that it will cost $4,500 to replace the furnace, because we know that furnace prices are getting up there quite high. It's over the $4,000 limit. All I have to do is request a waiver. State has been very gracious with their waivers where they approve them, and then I can turn around and pay the full amount for their furnace replacement. There was a question in chat. We do have customers who burn wood for heat. Those numbers are shrinking. But if the customer applies for the LIHEAP program and they indicate that they burn wood, we attach a 2 points for their fuel type of wood, and we will make a payment to their electric company since they do not have the heating accounts that the rest of us would have. We do have one customer that purchases her wood from a company. They are one of our vendors, our LIHEAP vendors. I pay her account direct. She goes out there, gets her wood, and keeps her house warm. So we do have one customer that we pay for wood. Another question, do we track the percentage of customers by primary heating fuel? I do not have that in this slide deck, but I do have the percentage somewhere in my computer. I will say at one time, a third of our customers that we serve in this area, a third were on propane. We have fewer and fewer customers who heat with fuel oil. Typically, what's happening with our fuel oil customers is they may have some furnace issues down the road. If they're homeowners, then we will talk to them about converting from fuel oil to propane, just for the energy efficiency of it. So with this program, ESIP, it works multiple ways. If the customer applies for LIHEAP, they're automatically eligible for the ESIP money. Sometimes we have customers that will come in during the summer months that we have never seen before. They have never applied for any service with our agency. We go through the same type of criteria that we have for LIHEAP. They have to meet that income eligibility. They have to provide social security numbers for every member in the household. It's just like we're doing a LIHEAP application, but we're out of the LIHEAP application time period. So they're doing all the paperwork, but we're going to help them with the ESIP funds. LIHEAP applications actually end at the end of April. So anybody outside of that, October 1st to April 30th, we will still be able to help with the crisis money, just not a one-time payment to their heat source, but they're actually getting more money, more funds put on their account just to prevent their utility disconnect or reconnect them. What was next here? There we go. Challenges to enrollment. So this has been a question that I have asked for years. Where are the customers? Who are we missing and why are we missing them? We promote this program through PSAs. I will do 3 and 4 PSAs a year. We throw things on social media. We talk to other agencies and interagency meetings. I actually have 2 of them today. Last year, we purchased or rented billboards to help promote the program. We are constantly talking to people that come in that are just looking for, maybe they come in and say, hey, I'm looking for a place to move to and want to know if we have a landlord list. Well, where are you living at now? Are you interested in all these other programs? And we'll start going through all of the programs that our agency has to offer and what the criteria is for each program. Last year, I think we were all surprised that our numbers all went down statewide. It's my understanding that it's not only in our state, it was in every state that for LIHEAP purposes, our numbers decreased. I think personally, it was all the extra funds that each household was receiving. If they were laid off, they were receiving a large dollar amount per week for unemployment. Their SNAP benefits went up. So the food insecurity that they may have been experiencing previously was mitigated due to the higher SNAP benefits. We had customers moving away. I think it was just a huge snowball effect. And I was totally, I mean, we were reaching out to customers we thought should have been here. And they said, I think I'm good. Well, we know, we want you to apply. We want you to be really, really good. So we don't have the answers of where are they and why aren't they applying. We just keep pushing and pushing more information out to the public that we are here. We want to help. Sometimes pride gets in the way with some of our customers. They want to do it themselves, but some of those customers that tell us we want to do it ourselves will come into us by May or June and say, yeah, we got behind. My car broke down, something. They don't know when something's going to happen, which will not give them the ability to continue to pay their bills. So if you all have a magic wand or some great ideas that you would like to share with us, it would be great, because we just scratch our heads.
Yeah.
We call every one of our customers who fails to apply the next year and say, what's going on? Where are you? So we don't know who we're missing and why we're missing them.
Well, that's part of why we wanted to have you on today, especially with potential for higher gas prices this winter. And in a normal year as well, we are making sure that when our AmeriCorps team is out there to folks' houses doing their direct install first step program, we do a lot of LIHEAP brochures that we leave behind with customers as well, and try to promote things. I know that we've had some people of our customers learn about LIHEAP from our first step program. I don't know, it's a little bit different this year. We haven't been in as many homes because of COVID, and our much smaller AmeriCorps team this year than in past. So,
well, and we thought we were going to attack that challenge of not, we had our offices closed. No one was allowed in the office. We were partially staffed here in our main building in Decorah, whereas some of us were working on site, some of us were working at home. That's why we opened the doors to other means of customers being able to apply. All of my staff have cell phones. People were taking pictures and sending documents that way, and our numbers still fell, which yeah.
So do you think that really just, as far as those stimulus checks going out was what was kind of keeping people buoyed above water, or do you think that you'll have a larger turnout this year as things kind of go back to normal?
I think our numbers will slowly go back to where they were, just for the fact that expanded unemployment is no longer there. And hopefully people are going back to work. But in the meantime, we are here to be able to, help them with their needs. We talk to the customers even beyond the LIHEAP. We talk to them about how's your rent, how's your food. So we try to bundle all of those services together, so our customers can walk out of our office or get off the phone with us and feel that we have hit that holistic approach with them, to hopefully push them closer to more self-sufficiency than they were before they called us. So I'm hoping, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You want people to be self-sufficient, and then they don't come in, and then your numbers go down, and you whine that your numbers are down and where are they? So you want them to start coming back in. But I just want to make sure that the customers who do need us, that can greatly need our assistance, know that we're there and know it's a very simple process to apply, regardless of how they wanted to do the application with us. I had a conversation with a town, a very small town, about our water program. And the concern with the new water program was, well, if our customers know that it's out there, they're all gonna stop paying their bill, their water bill. Because most of the people in this town are eligible for your programs. And I said, my response to her was, that's funny, because if they're mostly eligible for our programs, why aren't they applying for LIHEAP? Because they don't.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. But again, some just want to do it themselves. I believe everybody should be able to apply and should apply, because I think they'll be surprised that they're eligible when they think they're not eligible.
Yeah, that's great. I was going to point out, I'm just going to just share screen here for some things at the end here. Do you want to, I grabbed the income table from another place, and just highlighting that it's, you know, a little over 50,000 for a family of 4. That is the updated figure for this year, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. And so no promises.
Oh,
Obviously, what you got to do is go in and apply, but just highlighting that number is maybe higher than some people think. And so this is a program that's available to a broader swath of the community than you might have an impression of, at least. So
yep. So another thing that state has changed for us this year, and the change came about due to the water program, is in the past, we've always counted FIP, the Family Investment Program income, as income for our customers. So you could have a blended family where one member is on FIP and the rest are working or self-employed or on, you know, fixed income. We would count all of their income in the household. This year, state says you can count all their income except for FIP. Because the water program, the water program will not allow us to count FIP. So it's going all the way across the board. So weatherization doesn't count it, LIHEAP doesn't count it. The new LIHEAP program won't count that FIP income.
Okay.
So those households that are FIP only, they have the easiest application. All they have to do is say, yep, I get FIP. Okay, and we're going to check the box and we're going to move on.
Gotcha.
So,
great. Well, Karen, thank you for joining us today and talking about LIHEAP and as well tangentially there, the weatherization program. So
there are a few questions in chat that I see. There's one about undocumented folks. So those customers that have any undocumented members in their household, all it takes is one member of the household to be eligible for the program, and then the household can apply. So saying that, if we have 2 adults in the household, mom and dad, and they're both undocumented, but they have a child that was born in the United States with a social security card, all of the members will be on the application, but out of the 3, only one member will be counted as an active member of the household. We will still take the income from the 2 adults if they both work and put that income into the household, but that, and they may or may not be eligible. It all depends on what type of income they have and the dollars that they earn, but they're still allowed to apply for the program. There's always a concern that customers have that have undocumented members in the household, that we share information to other agencies, that other agencies are going to find out that the undocumented members live in this household that applied. That does not happen. All that information stays with the LIHEAP program. So We're doing better at getting that information out, but as with anything else, we just have to keep repeating ourselves that we don't share that information. I don't know if you want me to talk a little bit about the water assistance program. That's up to you.
Give us a real 1 minute overview, I guess.
Okay, I can do that. The water assistance program is similar to our ESIP program. It is a crisis program only. That means that we're only making a payment to the drinking water and wastewater that is up for disconnect. So unlike LIHEAP, we don't make a payment on an account and get a credit on the account for the customer going forward. We're just looking at what dollars are in crisis, what dollars is going to prevent that account from getting disconnected. But they still have to meet the same criteria as the LIHEAP program with their income, their social security proof, things like that. But it's purely a crisis program at this time, keeping our fingers crossed going forward that we will get refunded for that program year after year, and maybe it will evolve into something like the LIHEAP program. But in a nutshell, that's what it is.
That's great. Yeah, thanks. Karen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for talking about LIHEAP. It's great to have you on and learn more and know more about what we can do to help promote and talk to others about it as well.
Okay.
So
if you have any questions going forward, just let me know.
Yeah, and we can reach you at neicac.org, right?
Yep, I will put that in, put my email address in chat, and at any time, reach out to me and I'll answer your questions if I can.
Okay.
Joel?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to give everybody a reminder real quick that to join us this next Friday, the 29th, for a pizza party at Luna Valley Pizza Farm. 10% of your pizza purchases will go to us, the Winter Streak Energy District. You can reserve your spot starting this Sunday at noon. They often do sell out, so get on that quick. And next month, we'll be having a talk with MJ Smith from the Community Foundation of Greater Dubuque, talking about how energy districts and community foundations can work together and impacting our local communities through local leadership, local ownership, and local investment. So I got us done at 1. Andy's got one quick question on, so stay and join it, or stay out for a couple more minutes if you have time. But thank you for joining us today and taking an hour to be with us.
Okay, thanks, Joe. I only meant if there was actual time, but really quick policy issue, folks. If you're talking to your state policymakers, I just want to second the points that Karen made about how Iowa's shut-off moratorium is linked to the LIHEAP signups. And national numbers in Iowa is about the same. Only about 30% of eligible households are actually signed up for LIHEAP, despite their best efforts at getting the word out and getting folks signed up. And that means that an awful lot of folks, thousands of households actually, are shut off every year. And the vast majority of those would be eligible for the protection, but they're not signed up for LIHEAP. So if you're interested in policy solutions, one of them certainly could be that Iowa could follow other states and de-link the shut-off moratorium from LIHEAP sign-up. It just feels like we're never going to get, super high. We're never going to get a majority of eligible households signed up for the program. We still need to do that. It's still there. But should the shut-off moratorium be linked to the LIHEAP, we could protect an awful lot more folks if it weren't. So I just wanted to toss that note out there. And if you're worried about moral hazard and folks taking advantage who are not eligible and then still getting shut off protection, there are fewer people in arrears at any time every year than there are eligible for LIHEAP. And just so when you run those stats, it's pretty clear to everyone involved that anyone that would be shut off almost certainly is eligible or would be, but they're not signed up, so they're not covered. So there is a policy solution out there that we could work on. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks all for joining us today, and join us next month. And maybe we'll see you in a week or two for some pizza. All right.